Close your eyes for a second. Remember being 7 years old on your birthday morning. That electric feeling in your chest. The way you'd wake up before your alarm. Heart racing, knowing today was your day. You didn't question whether you deserved it. You just knew today is special, and it's going to be magical. Now fast forward to last year. Your birthday. What did you actually do? Probably went to work, maybe got some texts, ordered takeout, told people I don't really do birthdays anymore. But here's what nobody talks about. At 11:47 p.m., you were still awake, scrolling through your phone, mentally noting everyone who forgot. Don't lie. We all do it. Sarah is 28, works in marketing, has 847 Facebook friends. On her birthday, she posted nothing. She wanted to see what would happen naturally. Who would remember without a Facebook reminder prompting them? She responded to messages with, "Haha, thanks," and went about her day like it was nothing. By any measure, she was remembered. 23 texts, 4 phone calls, dozens of social media posts. But that night, she sat on her couch with a glass of wine, staring at her phone. Her best friend from college didn't text. Her work group chat, the one she always organizes birthday celebrations for, said nothing. 3 people she barely knows sent generic H-type BD messages. She told herself it didn't matter. But it did. And the psychology behind why it mattered is fascinating. Here's what your brain does when birthdays repeatedly disappoint you. It learns. It adapts. It builds armor. Psychologists call it emotional self-protection. But really it's just your mind saying, if I don't expect anything, I can't get hurt. So you start saying things like, it's just another day. I'm too old for birthday celebrations. I don't need external validation. And you believe it. You genuinely convince yourself you don't care. But then midnight comes, and you're lying in bed, reviewing the day like evidence in a trial. Who remembered without being reminded? Who actually called instead of texted? Who proved you matter? This is the paradox. The more you say you don't care, the more you're actually protecting something that cares deeply. When we experience repeated emotional letdowns, the brain begins to lower expectations. It's a survival mechanism. You reduce anticipation to avoid disappointment. You teach yourself not to hope too loud. Over time, that same self-protection can quietly dull joy. You start walking through your own life like a guest at someone else's party, polite, observant, but distant. When you're a kid, birthdays are simple proof that you exist, and people are happy about it. No conditions, no performance metrics, just, you were born, and we're celebrating that. But somewhere between ages 12 and 25, something shifts. You start earning your celebrations. You internalize this message. I'm only worth celebrating if I've accomplished something this year. Meet James. He's 34. Last year he got divorced. This year, his birthday felt like a report card he didn't want to look at. Another year older, still single, still figuring things out. So he treated it like a normal Thursday. Not because he didn't care, but because caring hurt too much. This is what happens when we tie our worthiness to our achievements. We stop celebrating being alive and start only celebrating doing well. And the problem is simple. None of us are doing well all the time. Here's something most people won't admit. Your birthday is a test. Not one you consciously set up, but one your subconscious quietly administers to everyone in your life. You don't remind anyone it's coming. You don't post about it. You certainly don't throw a party. And then you wait. Who remembers? Who reaches out first? Who proves they've been thinking about you even when you're not asking for it? It's the same psychological mechanism as the I am fine test. You say you're fine, but what you really mean is, I'm not fine, but I want to see if you care enough to notice. Your birthday becomes, I don't need celebration, but let's see who celebrates anyway. Maya is 31. She spent her entire birthday saying, no big deal. She went to the gym, worked a full day. Very normal, very controlled. But at 11 p.m., she couldn't help herself. She started counting. 23 text messages. But how many were just responding to her story? 4 phone calls, but 2 were from family. So do those really count? Her boyfriend said happy birthday at 6 p.m. after she mentioned it. And then the absence. Her childhood best friend said nothing. Her work team, who she brings homemade cookies for on their birthdays, forgot completely. She told herself it didn't matter, but she made a mental note. These notes accumulate. They become data. And eventually, the data tells you, lower your expectations. Psychologists call this avoidant validation behavior. When you convince yourself you don't need recognition, because part of you fears not getting it, it develops in people who learned that emotional needs were inconvenient. that it was easier to need nothing than to be disappointed again. Here's something that breaks my heart. The people who are best at celebrating others are often the worst at receiving celebration themselves. They're the ones who remember everyone's birthday, who plan the group dinners, who organize the surprise parties, who make people feel truly special. But on their own birthday, nothing much happens. Why? Because they've trained everyone to believe they don't need it. Because they downplay their own birthday so convincingly that people take them at their word. They give the kind of attention they secretly wish they'd receive, but it doesn't get returned. Not because people don't care, but because they've made it too easy for people not to try. This creates a quiet kind of loneliness, because they love people the way they want to be loved. But it doesn't come back. When someone says, "I treat my birthday like a normal day," here's what they might actually mean. Version 1. I found peace with aging, and don't need external validation. This is real and beautiful, but rare. Maybe 10% of people. Version 2. I'm scared to want something and not get it, so I'm pretending I don't want it. This is most people, about 60%. Version 3. I've been disappointed so many times that I've stopped hoping. About 25% of people. This one's heartbreaking. Version 4. I don't know how to receive love without feeling needy. The people pleasers and caretakers, about 15%. Which version are you? Be honest, not with me, but with yourself. Because most of us aren't just one version, we're a complex mixture. And there's a big difference between genuine peace and emotional exhaustion. Daniel is 29. He told everyone he didn't care about his birthday. He meant it, sort of. Then at 7:43 a.m., he got a voice note from his friend Chris. Not a text, a full 2-minute voice note. Hey man, I know you say you don't do birthdays, but I wanted to tell you something. This year's been hard, and you've shown up for me in ways I didn't even know to ask for. You remember things, you pay attention, you show up. I'm really grateful you exist. Not for what you do, but just because you're you. Happy birthday, you matter. Daniel listened to it 3 times. He saved it. And months later, on random Wednesdays when he felt invisible, he played it again. That's the thing about birthdays. It's not about the party or cake or gifts. It's about proof. Proof that your existence has made a difference. That you've been seen, not just noticed. One thoughtful message can mean more than 100 generic ones. Because what we're all seeking isn't celebration. It's recognition. We want to know that someone's thinking about us even when we're not in the room. If you're reading this and thinking, this is me, if you treat your birthday like a normal day but secretly wish someone would make it special, here's what you need to hear. It's okay to want to be celebrated. You don't have to earn it by achieving something. You don't have to justify it by having a great year. You don't have to downplay it to seem mature. Wanting to feel special on your birthday isn't childish. It's human. But here's the hard truth. You can't simultaneously tell people you don't want something and expect them to give it to you anyway. If you want to be celebrated, you have to be willing to admit that. Not to the whole world, but to at least one person. Hey, I know I usually say I don't care about my birthday, but actually, I kind of do. It would mean something to me if we could do something. I know that feels vulnerable, but it's not weakness. It's honesty. It's giving someone the gift of knowing how to love you well. Let me tell you about Elena. She's 35. For 15 years, she treated her birthday like a normal day. Disappointing birthdays as a kid, friends who forgot, partners who underdelivered. But on her 35th birthday, she did something different. She didn't wait for someone else to celebrate her. She celebrated herself. She took the day off work. She went to her favorite coffee shop and ordered the expensive drink. She bought herself flowers, actual good flowers. She cooked her favorite meal and used the good dishes. She lit candles. And then she wrote a letter to her younger self. The one who used to count down to birthdays with glowing anticipation. Hey you, it's me. I'm 35 now. I want you to know, we made it. We're still here. We're still trying. And you were right about one thing. Birthdays are special. Not because other people make them special, but because they mark survival, growth. Another year of showing up even when it's hard. I see you. We made it another year. For the first time in years, her birthday didn't feel empty. Not because anyone threw her a party, but because she stopped waiting for permission to honor her own existence. The most beautiful and tragic thing about getting older is this. You learn that magic isn't given to you. You have to create it yourself. Birthdays don't feel magical anymore because you're waiting for someone else to make them magical. But magic is just intentional attention. It's choosing to pause, to notice, to celebrate the fact that you're still here, still trying, still becoming. Does that mean you don't need connection? Of course not. Humans are wired for community. We need to feel seen and remembered, and celebrated by people who matter to us. But it means your happiness isn't held hostage by whether those people show up in the exact way you're hoping for. That's not settling. That's sovereignty. But even in that sovereignty, even in that self-sufficiency, there's still a voice. A quiet voice that sounds like your younger self. The one who believed birthdays were magical. And that voice says, I hope someone remembers. That hope doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. Because no matter how much personal growth work you do, you never outgrow the need for connection. You just get better at hiding it. And that's the paradox of emotional evolution. You can be genuinely content with your life and still crave connection. You can be self-sufficient and still light up when someone makes you feel special. These things aren't contradictory. They're the full range of human experience. Birthdays don't actually measure age. They measure consciousness. They are natural checkpoints. Built-in opportunities to pause and ask, am I living honestly? Am I still becoming someone I recognize? Do I like the story I'm telling with my life? What do I need to let go of? Who am I becoming? These aren't comfortable questions, but they're important ones. And maybe that's the real reason we treat birthdays like normal days. Not because we don't care, but because we care too much. Because sitting with those questions requires vulnerability and the willingness to see yourself clearly. The people who most need to be celebrated on their birthdays are the same people who will never ask for it. They're the ones who hold space for everyone else, who remember your important dates, who check on you first, who give without keeping score. If this is you, if you're recognizing yourself in these words, I need you to understand something. You deserve light too. You don't have to earn celebration by being strong all year. You don't have to prove your worth through endless giving. The strongest people are often the ones carrying the heaviest invisible loads. There's nothing weak about admitting you'd like to feel special, even just for one day. And if you have someone in your life who doesn't do birthdays, here's what I want you to understand. They're probably lying. Not maliciously, but defensively. They're saying they don't care because they've learned it's safer. And what they're really hoping is that someone will care enough to see through the performance. So this year, don't take them at their word. Send the text, make the call, leave the voice note. It doesn't have to be big, but it has to be sincere, it has to be personal. Tell them something specific that proves you see them. That text costs you nothing, 2 minutes, $0. But to them, it might mean everything, because what they're starving for isn't cake or presents. It's proof that their existence matters, that someone's been noticing. So maybe the psychology of people who treat their birthday like a normal day isn't about indifference at all. Maybe it's about integration. The acceptance that not every emotion has to be loud to be real. The understanding that meaning doesn't require noise. Maybe it's about learning to hold multiple truths. I don't need external validation, and I appreciate when people remember. I'm content with ordinary days, and I miss childhood excitement sometimes. I'm self-sufficient and I crave connection. I'm fine alone, and I'd love to be celebrated anyway. These aren't contradictions. They're the full, messy, beautiful complexity of being human. So if your birthday ever feels like just another day, if you went to work, made your coffee and carried on, maybe that's not something to fix. Maybe it's something to honor. Because what you're saying is, my life is already full enough to not need one day to make it meaningful. That's not detachment. That's gratitude in disguise. But let yourself be soft. If you miss the excitement you once had, it's okay to feel that too. Missing your younger self doesn't mean you've regressed. And perhaps that's the greatest gift you can give yourself. To remember the child who once counted down to midnight with glowing eyes. Who believed one day could hold infinite magic. Who knew their existence was worth celebrating. Because that child is still inside you, waiting for you to whisper, hey, I see you. We made it another year. That's the kind of celebration that doesn't fade when the candles go out. So if your birthday feels like just another day, don't feel guilty. It's not emptiness. It's evolution. And yet, in the quiet, if someone remembers, let them. Let them say your name. Let them remind you that you matter. Because you do. Even on ordinary days. Even when you treat your birthday like it's nothing. Especially then. Because maybe that's the most beautiful thing about growing up. Learning that celebration doesn't always need confetti. Sometimes it just needs awareness. A moment of stillness. A deep breath. You don't have to make a wish. You already are one. A living continuation of every version of yourself that made it here. And that's worth celebrating. However you choose to do it.